Today I mapped out every single concept that I need to learn this month to build the SpaceWise Minimum Viable Product. SpaceWise, it's an app that's gonna teach space science in a very fun and entertaining way, or at least that's my goal, and it's gonna be very useful to create applicable knowledge in real life situations. So yeah, and today I've created a system to track my progress, to plan my days, to be very specific, and I just know when exactly am I going to learn these concepts, what concepts am I going to learn, and also how exactly am I going to learn that. Getting into detail with my methods of studying and techniques, and yet today is day 44 of documenting my journey for creating SpaceWise. Let's get into it. Yeah. Okay, I quickly went to buy some eggs to the market. Here they are, more eggs for the week. And now I'm gonna be breaking down the SpaceWise again. I'm gonna keep doing that, and also I'm gonna share a bit of my thoughts on what's going on right now. So let's go. What have I done for the last hour? I was breaking things down and I was getting really clear about what I wanted on January, on this month, and I was trying to be realistic and real with what I actually think I can do. And I basically reduced the objectives of January to this. But now I'm realizing that this might be even too much for January. And so the other things that I had written down are not going to be possible because I only have like 4 months. And the thing is, I'm not even close to breaking things down correct. What the hell is this? Oh, why did I open? Okay, good. It's just the LEDs, bro. They're getting crazy. But where was I? But yeah, I'm trying to break down everything that I need to do and try to foresee failure. Try to understand what can happen, what is probably gonna happen, what are probably gonna be my limitations and my barriers and my bad habits that are gonna come out. What is probably the thing that's gonna be bad, and I can prepare for it in advance. And yeah, my next step right now is gonna be breaking down these things, breaking down this simulation, the exact thing that I want to get done. I'm gonna break it down fully. I'm gonna, like for example, here I'm gonna have basic flat terrain that blends with the mountains. So I'm gonna put what do I have to learn exactly, like what do I have to learn, how am I gonna learn it, when am I gonna learn it. I'm gonna think of what are gonna be the problems for when I try to learn it, what are gonna be the problems for when I try to code. And I'm gonna put all of that in here, and then I'm probably gonna realize that I need to separate this in 2 months, into January and February, and then I'm gonna realize that this MVP is not gonna be as good as I want it to be because I have been failing and just not doing anything for the past 3 months, not doing anything productive, and I've been avoiding the discomfort and the pain, basically. this pain of knowing that the MVP might not be as good as I wanted it to be. But the thing is, if I had faced this pain a month ago, 2 months ago, the MVP would be much better. Each week, each month that I didn't face this thing, it got worse, and I got less and less time to actually work on it. So right now, I'm probably not gonna get my goal. Like, I'm probably not gonna achieve my goal because the MVP is not gonna be as good as I wanted it to be. And yeah, my goal was to get the max grade as a school project. This is for a school project. I don't think I'm gonna get the max grade because right now I'm not gonna be able to finish it and polish it enough. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep breaking this down. I'll try to be fast because it's already 10 a.m. and at 1 p.m. I will make my food. I will also, after that, go get a haircut, and after that, I guess it's already time for, yeah, I can keep breaking down this. I need to get it done, bro, and I'm gonna be feeling a lot of pain and resistance to do this, because the closer I get to knowing exactly what it's gonna take, the more pain I'm gonna have, because I'm gonna understand that this is not gonna get done easily, as easy as I lied to myself and easily as I thought and made myself believe. Let's go, let's keep breaking this down. See you in a second. Oh, shoo! Just finished. 3 hours. It was an intense 3 hours. Big hours. So, I have broken down the MVP for January only. And I tried to make it really realistic. And I have figured out the why and the how. I still need to do the when. So let me just get into it. So here we have April, March, February, not done yet. January. Let me just explain you kind of like the logic of how I broke this down, instead of explaining you what I broke down, because if I explained you what I broke down, this would be a very long video. Like, I would have to record for at least 30 minutes or 40 minutes to explain all of this. So I'm not gonna do it, but I'll show the text, and if you feel curious, you can read it if you want. So first I started with defining the main objectives of the month. And if you... oops, I'm gonna stop doing that. If you have seen my previous videos, like, this was very crowded. I had a lot of things here. Now I only have a simulation where there's a 3D basic clean functional environment, and yeah, there's a basic simulation, and also the code has to be readable and good code. So these are the two main objectives. Then here I break them down. Don't this is the previous thing, an old thing. So I broke them down. Here I focused on the desired outcomes. What are the outcomes? It's kind of like the objectives, but really specific, so for clean code, like when I'm coding the app, I want to be aware of the cleanliness of the code that I'm writing and understand in what situations can I apply the code principles that I've been learning. Here I put an intention, and here I really made it really specific, the desired outcome. Like, I really made it so I know when I will achieve this objective. It's specific, and I know it because it's like a scope. I put a limit to what I need to learn. In this example, my limit is that I shouldn't get into details. Like, I should know the big picture. I should know how many concepts relate to each other, why are they important, how do they play a role in the application, but I shouldn't know how to implement them. I shouldn't know the code, because I can look it up really easily. Like, the details, I can look them up very easy, and I don't need to learn them from memory. The important thing is the declarative knowledge, the knowledge of the big picture, the knowledge of basically how things work, the logic behind things. So this is my limit, and I make it clear here and make it very clear down here. So I do the same thing. I specify a lot what this objective means. So here I put it in a more general way to have it simplified. Here I really specify a lot. Then the intention. This is a lot of things. And then here, a new thing. Here I put what am I going to be learning to achieve this objective, to achieve this outcome that I have just really put into detail. And yeah, this outcome. And then I think what am I gonna learn? I also asked ChatGPT. I did ask ChatGPT for a couple of things to give me ideas and to ask some questions about that I would like to know. Like, for example, here, why would I want to learn a thing? Like, I need to understand why. So here, between parentheses, I put why am I learning this? Because of course I can put that I want to learn many things, and that's amazing, but is it necessary? Is it actually essential? Is it like, why, you know? So here I put the why. I kind of put like the whole reason, and yeah, this is the whole base of the MVP. This is the whole base of the project. Now, after determining what, I'm gonna go into detail into how. But first, here I could have gotten even more into detail, and I could have specified what exactly am I gonna learn about physics and rocket science. What are the subtopics that I'm gonna learn and that are more relevant to me? I did not do that because here I have the scope. I'm just gonna learn the basics of each topic on a big picture level. I'm not gonna enter into details, so I think it's important to know the basic like things. And in physics, for example, I could go into physics that have nothing to do with space, but of course I'm gonna try to learn about physics that are related to rocket science. That's why I'm grouping them. I'm putting them on the same group. I'm gonna be making mind maps for both of these at the same time. How am I gonna learn the concepts? So this is extremely detailed. Again, so first I'm gonna pre-study. This is gonna be a mind map, and it's gonna help me to get a very broad kind of structure that I can then build upon and put details on. Not details, but other concepts. So here I have the technique and how am I gonna do it. Then this is the first. This is the first step. Where am I? Please. The first step. The second step is actually studying that, and I'm gonna be doing a mind map again. So I have the maximum time estimated for this. Then the reflection also because it's important. The intention of this technique and doing this technique. So here we have the mind map. What am I gonna be doing? Technique nuances. How am I gonna do that? Notes before starting. So these are things that I'm gonna keep in mind before starting to do the mind map. And here are some detailed explanations on how I can do it, and so I don't forget the technique. Third, the procedural knowledge. Procedural is like putting in practice what you have learned. It's like the theory is declarative, practical is procedural, kind of. Might not be exactly like that, but you can kind of understand. And in this case, I'm gonna be testing my procedural, my practical knowledge on the app. And then fourth, space interlevel retrieval sessions. These are sessions where I'm gonna test what I have learned on the first and second steps. So here I'm gonna be going through a cycle. First, I test myself with an interleaving technique. Then, as I find knowledge gaps, as I find that things are not very simple to explain, like I'm not explaining things well, like I can't remember something, these are gaps of knowledge, and I will put them down on a paper or on a document, whatever. I'll just note them. Then, after I finish doing the technique, after the time runs out, I will reflect on how it went, and after that I will study my knowledge gaps for a couple of minutes and repeat the process. What is this? This is basically going to the material, going to a video, a book, a lecture, and trying to understand that better and study it again. Then I'm gonna repeat this process. So after studying my gaps and after getting stronger and stronger knowledge, I will test myself again. And here is the example. So I have put a time here, to a percentage of time to execute the technique, percentage of time to reflect, percentage of time to study the knowledge gaps. Here I put an example. If I have 60 minutes, I will be executing the technique for 30 minutes, I will be reflecting for 15 minutes, and I will be studying gaps for 15 minutes as well. If I convert it to the cycle, it would be like this. So from 30 minutes, I will put 15 minutes on the first technique execution, I will have the reflection and put 7 minutes here, I will do 15 minutes of studying the gaps, and then I will execute the technique again and reflect again. Now what about the techniques? Like the techniques are here. Let me just tab this because it should go inside. So here are the possible techniques that I have, and this opens up a database where I have all the techniques, how it's done. Haven't filled this yet, but how it's done, the order of learning, like the tags of the technique, what is the type of information that this technique helps me test and retrieve. So yeah, and here I have other possible techniques. I think I can polish this a little bit more, but yeah, either way, that's what I have. And on clean code I have the same thing, kind of the same thing. Here we have a difference on the procedural knowledge of the clean code. I will be practicing what I've learned by refactoring the code of an old project of mine and trying to apply the principles of clean code and debugging and OOP and memory management and everything. That's basically it. It's 1:20 p.m. I have to get a haircut in 2 hours. Right now I'm gonna take a cold shower because I haven't yet. I'm gonna cook, eat, go to the haircut, and then when I come back I'll probably just figure out the when am I gonna do each thing. And that's of course really important, because if I don't specify when am I gonna do it, I'm never gonna do it. Like, the basis of what I'm doing here is when I wake up, I don't want to think about anything, I just want to have it all ready to do. And also, now that I remember, I also have to do the foreseeing failure. This is basically trying to imagine what could be the barriers, what could be the things that stop me from succeeding, what could be the things that, like, the bad things that could happen. Imagine if I try to execute a technique, what are the things that might happen that will stop me from doing the technique well and stop me from improving and stop me from trying hard. So for example, I might be very scared of making mistakes and of experimenting. Like, by default I'm like that, so I'm changing the way my brain thinks, but it takes time. For now I have a habit of being very afraid of making mistakes, and I'm changing it to a growth mindset. So I might imagine that, and I will think of how can I make it so I overcome that and I don't feel this way. For example, I could make me read a text about my reflection, and that might give me a bit of confidence. I can remind myself of that I don't need to listen to my emotions. Like, I can feel the emotions, but I can just act completely different, and that I'm in control of my actions, and I don't need to listen to my emotions. Either way, I'm yapping too much, but I think I've explained this whole thing correctly and well. I think maybe not, but yeah, let's do what I said I was gonna do: cold shower and eat. Yo, so here's the food. We've got eggs for dinner, and for lunch for now we got chicken breast, avocado, peanuts, and this is a bonus that I usually don't have: an omelette and a piece of meat. Yeah, this is just a bonus that it's kind of like leftovers. So let's go. Let's eat this. The haircut. Looking fresh, looking fresh. Oh, shit. Okay. So, what time is it? It's 4:48 p.m. I'm gonna keep breaking this down till like 6:30, and then I'm gonna eat dinner. I'm gonna be, I think, editing the video, recording the introduction, meditating. Let's go. Let's break this down. Reminder, I'm gonna be trying to figure out the when, and I'm gonna be foreseeing failure. Let's go. Okay, it's been 2 hours and let me show you what I've done. I have just basically created an entire system to track my tasks, my hours, everything. And it's composed of two databases, or even three databases. And let me just show you the first one, and it's like the main one, the database that has everything. So here's where I put the hours that I have every day. This is basically like a planner, like as you see, name of the day. Here we have the hours available on the day, the description, the planning, exactly what I'm gonna be doing with the intention, very important. Then the techniques that I'm gonna be doing and the time they're gonna take. Now, how am I gonna know? Like, this is not specific at all. Like, I wanna do mind mapping. Okay, but how do I do mind mapping? Well, here's the technique, the how to do the technique, and it's automatically filled for me. If I put here, if I remove the mind map, here you don't see anything. But if I put, for example, pre-study, you get a new thing. You get a how-to for the pre-study. Let me just put the mind map again because it's what I'm gonna do on the 7th. Oh my god, what just happened? Wait, can you see this? Okay, yeah, you can. I thought I was just putting my camera like full screen. It has happened, so it's good that I'm showing this correctly. The how-to, then the topic, study, structure. This is more of like a big picture view of how am I gonna study this whole topic. How am I gonna study code hygiene? Like, what are the different stages? So here I'm gonna be doing pre-study, like pre-studying the whole topic. I'm gonna be doing encoding. I'm gonna try to get an understanding of the topic, big picture one, and I'm gonna do a mind map for that. Then I'm gonna be practicing and testing my procedural knowledge. My procedural knowledge, as I said before, it's the practical stuff. Not the theory. The theory is the declarative. It's the practical stuff. Then SIR, the Space Interleaving Retrieval Sessions. Here I have not done this yet. I still need to think about it. And today I'm not gonna be able to finish this, but at school over the next few days I'm gonna just plan everything out, and I'm gonna actually do the foreseeing failure as well. I need to do two types of foreseeing failure, I think. A more zoomed in, like foreseeing failure for each day to see what could happen, and then a foreseeing failure for the whole SpaceWise MVP. What I mean by this is that I'm gonna have to brainstorm ideas of things that might go wrong over the whole over all of my methods and all of my habits and everything. What could be my limitations? What could be the barriers that stop me from succeeding in creating this MVP in 4 months? So kind of like a big picture, foreseeing failure. Then, what is the desired outcome of this topic? Like, when do I stop learning this topic? What is the limit? What is the scope, right? So here it is when I'm coding the app, and this is basically, if you hadn't noticed, this is basically what I wrote down here, but I created a system to, instead of keeping it here, I have it more organized and more easily accessible and more automated even. So yeah, then add hours, remove hours. Actually, this makes more sense. So we got the initial hours that I will have in the day. How do I know this? Because when we go to the calendar, let me just go to the calendar. What is the second? When we go to the calendar and we go to the 7th of January, it's in Portuguese, but no problem. Here, when we go to the 7th of January, you can see that I have everything planned out, and I'm gonna have only 2 hours for work in the morning. If I sacrifice sleep and I sleep less, for example, if I do this and I wake up at 4:30 a.m. instead of 5, I'm gonna have 3 hours. So the initial hours were 2, right? I only had 2 hours. So wait, that's what I'm putting here. Initial hours, 2 hours. But then if I decide I'm gonna sacrifice sleep or anything, or imagine there isn't school that day for some reason, then I will add. And then the total hours will update to 3. It was 2 because the initial hours were 2, but then I added 1 hour and it updated automatically. What if I want to, like, what if I, for some reason, I sleep more? I decided that I want to sleep more and I'm gonna wake up at 7, at 6 actually. Well, basically the same thing. I think you've already figured it out. I will just put 0.5, which is half an hour, and yeah, I will only have an hour and a half hours available. And as you see here, an hour and a half, and you can see that. Oh, okay, but it's from 6 to 7:30, and it's all interconnected, Then the record here, I'm basically gonna put why have I added hours and why have I removed hours, what is the reason. For example, sleep less 1 hour, or like add hours, sleep 1 hour less, like this. So this is kind of the record, and I will put here what has happened, the date, the day of the week, the month. Then I also have this thing with, we have the monthly view, which is kind of like a different calendar where I can actually see all of the tasks. And then we have a weekly view. Let me go to the next week, and here we have the days where I'm gonna work on SpaceWise. That's basically it, and yeah, I still have to plan all of these days for January, and I have to put the topics, and I have to really basically just keep planning everything, and have to put this as well. So there's many things that I have to still put in the database. But I will be doing it, as I said, on over the next few days at school if I can. And yeah, like here we have the study topics, and here's where I have all of the information for the topics. So if you see here, if I just remove this topic, oh wait, if I remove this topic, if I remove this topic, things don't show up because this thing is a relation, and if I put a topic, these are gonna look up the information from this database. That's really good, and that's basically the same idea with the techniques. It's gonna look up the how-to on the techniques database. So we have the techniques nuances, which is like the how-to, and it will look up this information. So this is like really good. Like Notion is actually wow. Just wow. I'm gonna be completely honest. That's basically it. I don't know if you understood it. Probably not, because to understand this, like, you have to work on it, most likely, because it's pretty complicated. But I think I explained it correctly. Alright, now I'm gonna be eating and watching a lecture on learning while I eat. Then I'm gonna record the introduction, I'm gonna meditate, and I'm gonna say goodbye to you. Let's go. Okay, today's meal we have basically the same as always, some eggs, but today I'm eating 8 eggs instead of 6, some sardines, and today as a bonus some cheese. And here we have salt. You don't see it, but we have salt because I'll probably need it for the eggs, because I don't salt them when I cook them. Okay, and oh my god, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna eat. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna meditate for 20 minutes. Let's go. Okay, 20 minutes of meditation done, and wow, I got really like a lot of anxious thoughts, and I had to like bring myself back to the breath, but I got like the same anxious thought over and over and over again. It was the fact that I'm probably gonna have to show the work that I've done at school, and I'm gonna have to show something, but I don't have anything that's like visible. I don't have like a prototype yet, so I'm getting really anxious about that. I just need to remind myself that this is not gonna help me, and I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm on the right path. Yeah, right now I'm going to edit this video and also plan tomorrow. I'll show a little bit. It is not very related to SpaceWise, but the techniques and the learning and the planning is, so I'll show that. Let's go. Okay, so let me just show you what I've been doing. I completely modified the database and I adapted it so I can also plan for my math A level days. So here we have SpaceWise, as I've done before. This is lagging like crazy a lot. Okay, this is lagging a lot. Oh my god. Okay, nice. So here we have it, the SpaceWise, and here we have for the math A level. And if we go to the monthly view, we can also change it. Here we have the SpaceWise days, but if I come over here, we can also only see the math days. We can also see both if we want. And yeah, this is basically what I've been planning. My graphics card is, I think, dying right now. So this is tomorrow, January 5th. I only have 3.5 hours. I had 6, but because of the lesson, I'm gonna remove 2.5. What the hell is going on with my computer, bro? I don't know if you can see that. And to be honest, I haven't really thought much about the intention and the planning because I'm really tired right now. So over the next few days, I need to improve that and plan a bit earlier because it's very late now. But I will foresee failure, but in a second I'm gonna put the video to render because it takes so long, and I'm just gonna finish recording this. And yeah, bro, this is basically the guideline. Here are the topics in Portuguese, here are the techniques that I'm gonna use, here are the description of the techniques, and here is the breakdown kind of, and how many minutes it's gonna take. That's basically it. I'm gonna go to sleep in a second. Goodbye. Wish you a very good one.